Hello, I'm Ebenezer, quite terrible really, and I really should go to the doctors. This is a board deck and dice preview of a game that will be on Kickstarter, and or may even be on Kickstarter now, but if it is, the link will appear below. This game is Scrooge the Board Game. It is definitely a family weight game, and we'll get the two elephants out of the room immediately. This game is roll and move and contains paper money. Let's see if those things become a problem or if they make the game. So, Scrooge, the board game, you will have one of 6 characters from various Dickens novels. Here we have the Artful Dodger, Belle and Fagin. And this is a prototype, but it's a very good one. They will all start at the start space. Normally on a go you will decide if you're going to move forward or backwards. One of the dice is a standard d6 and the other is a modified one with 2 1s, a 0, a -2 and a -1. So you can potentially roll a 0 if you choose to roll both dice, or negative. If you do, you just move in the opposite direction to what you've said. Why would you ever move backwards? Well, Scrooge, surprisingly, is a lot to do with money. And in the game you'll need money at various points, and if you decide to move backwards, you get 50 gold per square that you move backwards, up to a total I think of 6 squares, and that is a good way of earning money. Every space that you land on has an effect, and I'll try and go through most of those. We'll see how we get on. Players will start with 1,000 gold in money, and there'll be 500 in Scrooge's counting house, which isn't there right now. There we go, 500. And money is something that is frequently changed hands and added to in this game. You're gonna see a lot of money in this game. You're going to gain a lot of money, you're going to lose a lot of money. So it's hard to see how they could have done it without paper money. So it's just one of those things. So there are squares with treasure chests on, and you take the amount of cards of Scrooge money box that is you are told to, and you flip them over. So in this case I've won 25, but then I've lost 50, so I would do the total of those, so I would lose 25 to Scrooge's counting house, and that would be the end of my go. Other sorts of squares are ghost squares. These are generally good powers for you, powers that mess with other players or help you out. So add 200 to any card at any point in the game, so you could use those to modify a Scrooge's money box or one of the other cards, so that's quite good. And you can get, I think, 1 or 2 of these. I think these are dished out in 2s or 3s, these are dished out in 1s or 2s, and somewhere there's a -1 as well. Then we have Scrooge's bag of tricks. These are particularly nasty cards. This is kind of it is a take that game in many respects. Scrooge's bag of tricks are what Scrooge can do to you. So at the start of your go, before you do anything else, if you have any of these, and you can have 1 or 2 of these, or I think that's the most you can have any one time, unless other players give you them as well. You turn and resolve all of these before your go. So for example, this one, return any turning points your cards you hold, or pay the bank 750. Sometimes there are ones that help you, we saw a few, or trip up other players, but generally you really don't want to have those too often. We have the black buying spaces. These let you buy nightmare cards. There are 2 types of nightmare cards. You'll all start with a turning point nightmare card, which has one of 3 uses. You can activate it at the end of your turn for an ongoing power that lasts as long as it indicates on the card. You can discard it any time to take that second power, or you can sell it for the value. And when you sell these cards, you roll the dice to act as a multiplier for the base value. So turning point cards can be really useful. Typically that's another turning point. There's only 8 of them. And then a standard nightmare card is just one that you can buy for its value and you can sell for a multiplier of 50 gold at the various sell points. So they're just a way of earning money, but some cost more than others, so there's a little bit of a risk there. Scrooge You, the red spaces, just send you back to where they say. They're really annoying. There's little purple ones that are 2 games of chance involving Scrooge's money box. You all put 50 in. In the first one, you all put 50 in, take 3 of the cards in front of you, and oh no, not that one, that's wrong. You'll all put 50 in, you'll all say a number from the dice, you have to say different numbers, the dice will then be rolled, and the person who's correct takes some money. If no one was correct, it goes to Scrooge's bank. The second one, Scrooge plays as well. Everyone, including Scrooge, gets 3 of these cards in front of them. They put their 50 in, and if they want to stay in, they have to bet, similar to poker, to stay in. But unless anyone raises, you can't go round again, and then you reveal and see who has the biggest total. So it's a real game of chance, but a good money earner if you go in for it. There are various steal cards that let you steal things from other players. These red ones are properties, and they, I think that you have to pay on most of those into the bank or Scrooge's counting house. I'm just checking if I've missed. Oh, character squares. If you land on one of those with your character, you get money. If anyone else lands on a different character, they have to pay that character or Scrooge money. There are selling ones that we've talked about. As you get around towards the end of the game, there's some more negative ones like losing a ghost card and a lot more of the bag of tricks cards. And there's these 2 bridges that you can go across this way, and then if you land here, you have to go back that way. So there is that bridge system there that you have to land on to go across. Done Nightmare cards, done those. So the end game, what you are trying to do is get all the way to 56 and out Scrooge and turn him around, make him a nicer person or whatever. And what you do there is you pay 500, you both take 3 of the cards in front of you. I say both, Scrooge is just played by someone else for this moment. And then unless you have a power, and there are loads that affect this in the game, Scrooge will also take one of these hero and villain cards that will act as a modifier, and then you turn around all your cards. So this is good for me so far. I'm on 100, now I'm on 50. I've done very well. I'm on plus 150. Then you'll see what Scrooge is on. So he's on minus 100, minus 200. I might just win this here. Minus 250. And then the hero and villain card gives him plus 50. So in that case, I would have won. That's a particularly good one. I think the balance of these cards is more towards the negative, so you're not going to see a big win like that often. So that's basically the game in a nutshell. You have to decide whether you're going forward or backwards. Roll how many dice you're rolling, you roll them, you move, you only activate the space that you land on from your dice rolls. So if someone else moves you and you land on something, you don't activate. If a card moves you, you don't activate unless the card specifically tells you to. And that is Scrooge the Board Game. So, Scrooge the Board Game is a phenomenal production, even at this prototype stage. The cards are proper thick, almost plasticky, nice to hold, nice to shuffle, nice to deal. The board is lovely. It's even got a kind of insert at this stage, which is amazing. And so again, I mean, I'm getting used to seeing fairly high quality prototypes now, and that seems to be a thing at the minute. Yeah, that's great. The paper money is far and away the worst component, but given how quickly money changes hands in this game, it's hard to see how it could have been done in any different way. I guess the only different way it could have been done is by some player board that tracks resources, you know, where you're moving cubes around to tell you how much you have because you're just, money is quite a fluid concept in this game. You're changing money's changing hands all the time. The roll and move is made interesting. When you boil it down, it is roll and move, but it's made interesting because you have these choices. You can look ahead and say, I might lose money there, or I've missed the bridge, so I'm going to go backwards on this go and get a bit of money. Or you're getting towards the end and you know you don't have 500, so you go backwards to get a bit more money and then go in for the 500. And going into the end is no guarantee of winning. In the example I gave in the game, that was quite unusual. To win like that without any modifiers. There's all sorts of ghost cards and nightmare cards that affect that you can play to stop Scrooge having a hero and villain, to swap your hands with Scrooge, to add money, as you saw with the ghost cards, to any card in the game. So yeah, it is roll and move, but you don't tend to mind, unless I'm always going to play this with a family. I don't mind it so much. I think because there's luck going in, I'm ready for that. I am okay with it. It is quite a mean game. There is a lot of meanness to it. Sometimes kids will not be able to handle the meanness. I know for my son, sometimes we may have had to play cards on each other, my wife and I, rather than on him because of the mood he was in, and sometimes he gets upset for us. So I had to go across this bad bridge. I got sent back by one of these Scrooge squares, and then I landed go back across the bridge, so I'm miles behind. But then I landed on a space that got me back here. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, yeah, you can be moved back a huge amount of spaces in this game. You can move back, I've seen people move back 10 or more spaces, but you never feel out of it because of the dice, because people are moving backwards and forwards. Catch up is actually feasible. So even though I think I finished on this last curve when the person finally won in that game, and I don't think there's never been a runaway winner, because the balance of the cards, whether there's lots of negatives or positives in the money box cards, whether there's the powers in the ghost cards, the nightmare cards and the Scrooge U cards, it all feels right, it all feels fair, as fair as it can in a take that game. So if someone has bad luck the one go, that it's going to even out, they're going to get better luck. I suppose there could be a possibility when you're landing on every negative square and getting every negative card, but then you might just decide to go backwards and start again. So it seems to work itself out in our plays. So yeah, intimidation factor very low, the rules are clear, the rules are in the most prototype format out of everything in this game, I would say. So they're still in that kind of blank document format. So, but as far as I can tell, they're going to read really easily. They'll be nice. If this is anything to go up by, they will be incredibly well formatted, and there is fun to be had here. I don't mind the type of luck where you're just rolling dice and seeing, and drawing a card and seeing, as opposed to another game recently where you see what you would have done for that particular action, but every other action as well. That I find that a bit more difficult, because it's like, let's have a look at what you could have won, whereas someone else's roll, it's not what you could have done in that same kind of instant way. So yeah, I think this is a good family game. I think as long as your kids can take the meanness of it, or you've got non-competitive parents, adults in the house who are willing to take the hit on each other if their child is finding it difficult, then you're going to have a lot of fun with this. It goes up to 6 players as well, so it suits big families. I imagine even non-game playing families will play it as well. So it's a nice family weight board game that has a lot of luck and paper money, but I think the quality of the production, the theming, particularly around Christmas, if you can see through that, you're gonna have a lot of fun here. Thanks very much for watching. I've been Board Deck and Dice. We'll see you next time.